Hello everyone, it's SHOX. I hope you are doing well. Today we're gonna speak about PGL Cluj-Napoca that just happened and just finished. Actually, there is a lot of learn, I think, to see because it was kind of interesting not having like all the best team in the world competing for that event, which makes kind of some place for every teams like to step up, you know. Some did, some didn't. So what did we actually learn from Cluj-Napoca? So the first team I want to talk about is actually Mouse, all right? Mouse who actually like finished first and won the trophy in Cluj. So it was a really nice actually achievement. I don't think a lot of people, even myself, like we didn't really know what to expect from them since they actually like bench 3 and Brian is taking the role of leader in game and Spanx is coming from Vitality. So it was a real question mark, you know, and somehow they managed to actually win the event by beating teams like 3D Max, Features Pro, Pain, Asteris, Falcons, and they were kind of dominating in the grand finals against Falcons. So that's good sign. Also good sign actually is Brolan is averaging a 0.98 rating on the event, which is not that bad, you know, for a leader in game. If you look at like all the best team in the world, I would say that the leader in game are averaging most likely 0.9, even less sometimes, you know. So having close to 1 is actually a good sign, I think, from Mouse if they can manage to have a leader again who is also like be able to be like really good like individually on the server. It actually can make a real difference for them. Also, Spanx averaging 1.13 on the event is a good sign, which means that he actually just adapting really well to the team and he can actually perform individually. So that's definitely a good option. Also, Spanx said that he actually had more emotions winning that event than maybe like winning Major or Cologne with Vitality. So how can we interpret these words? I would say that it means that somehow he's really like living in the team. You know, he's really already part in the team and he's feeling something that he was not feeling in Vitality apparently. So looks like the group itself, the team, you know, is trying to have a really good cohesion, plus they're winning events. So I don't know if it's gonna continue. You can never know counterstrike, right? But definitely a big shout out to Mouse and wishing nothing but the best for Brolan, because myself, I've been there trying to be a leader in game and it definitely takes some time and it's hard to win trophies like that. So I mean, already winning the trophies, even if not the best team in the world were there at Cluj, I think it's a really good sign and it will also like boost them confidence and boost Brolan confidence for him as a leader in game for the next step. So that's really good. Then we're gonna talk about Falcons, right? Who lost the final. Some stuff to talk about Falcons. So they actually managed to beat Asteris, Mouse, Eternal and Fates. So a lot of good teams, right? So that's definitely a good sign, and I think we are all kind of hyped to see Falcons finally performing, especially with Nico arriving. I mean, it can be like a really exciting 2025 years for Falcons. So I'm really happy for them, and especially for Nico. That being said, we have to remember that Nico was the MVP of the event with a rating 1.27 of the event, okay? So he's definitely like comfortable with Falcons, he's doing his job, he's performing, he's really good at what he's doing. But Magisk was still averaging a 1.01 about the event, despite being in the final. And as I was saying, like Magisk is a player who needs to perform for his team. You know, he has been always performing since years. He has been one of the pillars of his team. And he even said in his last interview that he knows he's not the pillar he should be in that team. And he knows it takes some time. But definitely, we need him. Falcons need him to step up if they want to actually like pretend. Can't say rate trophies right now with all the best team, but more playoff appearance, I would say, at the moment. Also, Tezes is averaging like, I think it's 1.01, 1.02, I don't remember. And Dexter, a 1.04 for the event. As an ADVP is definitely what you want for, right? Your ADVP, you want him to be at least 1.10. So what I want to actually say about that is, yes, Falcons did a final. Yes, Falcons stepped up. Yes, it's exciting. But after Nico being the MVP of the event with 1.27, the next player in Falcons, I think, is Dexter with 1.04. So there is like a huge gap, right? So basically you can say that they most likely been till the final thanks to Nico. So yes, he's a superstar. Yes, this is what we are waiting for him. But is it gonna be enough? I don't think so. The other players need to step up if they want to actually like pretend to more playoff appearance, maybe semifinals, maybe finals, and maybe lifting a trophy. Nico is not gonna be able to do it by himself. So yes, it's a good sign for Falcons, but warning, we need other players to follow Nico. Astralis is actually finishing third for the Cluj-Napoca. So it's actually cool for them because it's been a lot of times now they're struggling and not showing like some good sign, right? I'm really happy for Device, who is still like really consistent. It's actually crazy to see. They managed to beat FaZe, where we can talk about, and they lost against Mouse, who actually like, I mean, won the event. Still in the group stage, they lost against Falcons and even against Spain. So it was, I would say, yes, it's a good third place, especially beating FaZe. I think that was like the biggest match in the event for them because it actually can give them like more confidence coming in the next event. But I want to actually say that I checked about all the stats. So I would say that overall the team is average, okay? But the thing is like, Kadian, I checked that the last time he was having one rating, okay, was in 2024 in May. So basically, it's been like 9 months that he is not averaging at least one rating in events. So I think this is definitely like a scary sign for Astralis because they need firepower and they need him for sure. And also in May 2024, when he was averaging so 1.00 rating, it was the CC2 finals with Team Liquid. So it was like even a tier 2 event. So I think this is kind of scary, but let's be positive, okay? I think the win against FaZe for the third place can be a game changer. It can actually give them the confidence boost they needed, and they are not having since a lot of months now. They're actually searching it, they're fighting for it. You know, this little match in an event can actually make you play so much better in really like small time because it just gives you the confidence you need to make more plays, more calls that normally like you are doubting, hesitating. And because of that, I mean, thanks to these kind of wins, you will not have these doubts anymore. And you can actually like start to actually like grind for real. So let's see how it looks for the next event, but let's look at the positive side of it. It's actually one of the best performances the last few months for Astralis. So hopefully they can actually capitalize on this one. FaZe. Well, I believe you will all agree with me saying that it was like the biggest disappointment of PGL Cluj-Napoca for sure. Losing against Falcons and being eliminated in the third place by Astralis was definitely not a good sign. The thing is like, I don't really know what happened because they managed to beat Mouse in the group stage, who won the event. They beat Eternal Fire, who is like a good team. So, but somehow, when coming into the playoff, into the arena, where normally FaZe is actually an arena team, they are most likely like playing even like better in arena than in the group stage. This time, it was the opposite. They played better in the group stage than in the arena. Is it because of Elige? Is it because of the communication in the arena? On the stage, it was different? It's really hard to say, for sure. Also, when we look at the statistic, Elige is having like a 1.20 rating on the event, which is like huge. Remember, Nico is the MVP with 127. So Elige is 120 and Frozen is 121. So they had two players beasting the event. Brocky was definitely disappointing because he got like 1.04, which is not what you want for an MVP. But still, having two players performing that well should make you be able to at least go to the final, right? And besides that, they are taking a top 4. So my question is, if it's not from an individual point of view because players are performing, it means because it's about the cohesion, about the communication, as I was saying in the arena, about the tactic, but in the same time, in the group stage, they were good. So what changed, you know? It's really hard. So there are two questions that we'll need to figure out for the next event. The first one is actually, is there some cohesion problem in the team? Because I've been there, I've been in this type of teams that, yes, you maybe have players who are performing, but you are not being able to win some crucial matches and to go really far in the event because you are lacking some cohesion which is like just you need it to win like big matches. If you don't have cohesion, even with like good plays, good individual form, you will not win these matches, okay? So that might be a sign. And the second sign is like, I will be really curious to see them again, I hope, competing in an arena in the next event. I don't know where the next arena is gonna be. And I hope they will qualify to the playoff to see if that thing is gonna happen again. Because if this happen again, I mean, it will definitely mean that there is a communication problem in arena with Elige, I would say. Because since months, years, FaZe is an arena team. They are playing better in arena than in group stage. So why it was not the case in Cluj? This is a big question mark. Eternal Fire, I'm gonna talk about Eternal Fire. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about SO because it's a dead team. So yes, they managed to go to the playoff, but it's a dead team. So there is nothing like really important to say about this, right? But we're gonna talk about Eternal Fire. Eternal Fire who actually like kind of like disappoint me in a way because they lost against Falcons and FaZe. So yes, it's like two good teams. But even, I mean, if you look at Eternal Fire Falcons, definitely like before the match, we would have said like Eternal Fire is, I mean, Falcons is the underdog and Eternal Fire is the favorite. So this is a match that they should win. I think this is a match that they should win again against FaZe because they are still like, they're having like Elige, which make a lot of different move in the team. Eternal Fire had the chance to actually don't make any moves, so they should be able and they should have the advantage against these teams. But the thing is like when you look at more in depth about the event, is all the players are performing like very well. They are all having at least 1.07 rating besides Major. Okay, who is the leader in game, so I mean it's fine. But all the 4 players here, minimum 1.07, even going to 113 for Xantares, 114 for, I think it's Yota. So they are performing. This is my question mark. When you have players performing individually like that, I don't think it's a cohesion problem like, I would say like FaZe, because they didn't change anything. And so far we know they're having like a good cohesion. It's not an arena problem because they lost against FaZe like in the group stage. So might it be a tactic-wise problem? This is my biggest question mark. I love Major. I think he's really smart and I think he's really having like a really good plans. But with that event, I'm actually questioning myself. I didn't actually analyze Eternal Fire since kind of some time now. So it might be interesting to check in demo exactly why are they losing the matches, because it's not about individuals. It can be, I don't believe it's about cohesion. So I'm actually really thinking it might be because like on the tactical point of view, they're not good enough. And we said it in the last review that since 2024, they needed to step up. Okay, they did a bad 2024 end of the year. Okay, they come back in 2025. They need to show up. Eternal Fire in 2025 is a team that should lift a trophy, at least one. And from one event to another, looks like it's always the same. Okay, so yes, they are top 4 in the world. That's cool. That's nice. And yes, we know Eternal Fire is a really good team. But somehow, it's always happening kind of the same scenario, where it's in quarterfinal or semifinals or whatever, and some matches that should make the difference for them to go like more deep into the tournament, they're still losing it. So you can do it like for one event, 2 events, but you are supposed to win experience from all this loss, and you are supposed to upgrade your level, right? And it's starting to make some times now, like too much time. And when it's too much time, it cannot be scary because it cannot sometimes means you are missing something in your team that you can't do it. You can't pass the next step. And I definitely don't want this for Eternal Fire. I love that team. But the next event, in my opinion, they need to at least do a semi-final. At least. Really. Like they need to grind and they need to show up. This is what we are waiting for Eternal Fire. Cluj was a disappointing event for them. We want more and we expect more from this team. Mongols. Kind of the same scenario I would say as Eternal Fire, right? They didn't like win very good teams, Pain, Wildcard, Complexity. Okay, even if Pain, they managed to go like to quarterfinals. But they lost 2-0 against Astralis. And honestly, with how our stories is before the match, Mongols definitely have the edge, right? They did, I think it was semi-final in Katowice, yes. The last event before that, it was Blast, they did quarterfinal. So, on the paper, this is exactly like, you know what, Eternal Fire. This is a match they should have win. And they should have gone further. 100%. They were throwing like some good signs since the start of the year, where they were actually like getting more playoff matches and going to quarterfinals and semifinals. And here they're actually like getting a step back. This is not cool. And I really hope that they can manage to come back really fast, because I hope this loss is not gonna make them doubt. Okay, so expecting from Mongols next event going same as Eternal Fire, at least semifinals. They need to be consistent in that level, and they need to be grinding same as EF. I would say every loss in the arena should make you actually be better and better, and not the opposite. Okay, so I hope they're not gonna let some doubts going into their head. And next event, semi-final. You know what? Let's go for semi-final next event for Mongols against Eternal Fire. These are teams that need to take the next step, because if they don't do it now, maybe they will never do it. Can talk a little bit about Pain. I'm not gonna go like too more in depth, but because it was kind of new, but they actually managed to go into the quarterfinal, which I think was definitely nice. I mean, it's a good sign. They actually beat Falcons and Asterix in the group stage, Virtus Pro as well. So it's cool. It's new. So it's the first time they do such a good result, right? So it's really nice. Now let's see for the next event if they can actually like repeat that performance. That will be like a really good sign. If they can repeat it, then okay, we can maybe talk next time about playing like being a scary team. For now, it's too early, but it was definitely like a really nice event for them, gaining a lot of confidence, making like good results. So it's definitely encouraging, and let's see if they can continue. But congrats, Spain. Nice event. I mean, can talk about Virtus Pro and 3D Max. Disappointing teams. I'm sorry. Even for my French love, you know, but my French heart, I would say. But two teams that should be like at least in the playoff, not managing to do the playoff. We talk about 3D Max, that we don't know what to expect from them, with Body arriving and Joko leaving. So far, it's not performing, so maybe it takes some time to actually like implement a player into a new system. But we expect more. We expect more. Like 3D Max should be like in the playoff spot, especially in that event where there is not like Vitality, Navy, Spirit, G2. So disappointing from 3D Max. And same for Virtus Pro. I mean, they managed to do a quarterfinal in Katowice. I mean, sadly, they could not play like in full roster in that event. But here they were in full roster. So it was definitely like, it was no excuses this time, you know? Like they lost, even if they lost to Mouse, okay, but look, 13A, 13-2, they got destroyed. So there is definitely like something that is missing. Still too early to say, but yeah, Virtus Pro need to step up. It's not normal like to not go into the playoff with such a good team like that individually in this type of event. So scary time for Virtus Pro. Then for the rest of the team, I will actually put 3 teams showing a glass ceiling. I will put Big, I will put FlyQuest, and I will put MIBR. So Big, FlyQuest, MIBR is like 3 teams who looks like they have a glass ceiling, because they're always doing kind of the same from an event to another, and we don't see any improvements from one to another. Sometimes they're winning some good matches. You're like, oh, okay, so that team is interesting. But then a few weeks after, they're still losing against. So I don't know. Like FlyQuest, Big, and MIBR, I feel like there is a glass ceiling and something is missing into these teams. And talking about complexity, wildcard, Imperial Valkyries. I'm sorry for these teams, but it's just like teams who were like just under, you know, and in the same in the term of levels were just not good enough. But we didn't really expect more from them. So nothing to really much say about this. Interesting really event to see, I feel like, because it's actually, with not having like the biggest team in the world, it actually gave some space for other teams to confirm or not. For example, Mouse confirm. No big teams, Brolan, let's take the trophy, okay? Falcons kinda confirmed, okay? Even if it was a big Nico, but no big teams, let's take the second place. Asteris, no big teams, or managed to get the third, okay? FaZe, no big teams, still 4, not good, right? Eternal Fire, no big team, 5-8, not good. Mongols, no big team, nah. You see? So it was really interesting because some teams actually took their chance with not the big names and showed that, okay, they can do something, okay? And others are more like, man, the best teams in the world were not even here. So what are you gonna do when they will be in the next event? It will be even harder, right? So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff, honestly, like, as I'm always saying, like in the video, guys, I think like 2025 might be like one of the biggest CS year we haven't seen in a long time, to be honest, with all this team popping and from one event to another, like having so many different scenarios, and every team's got their own scenarios who is different from another. So there is so many storylines from day, I know, 1 to day 30 in 1 month, you know, it's just so cool to follow. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you next time. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.